How to become a remote developer. This is something that I've personally done, and I've got some experience on how I went about it, and hopefully I can give you some tips if it's something you're thinking about, because especially in today's climate, remote work is something that's a lot more accepted, and there's a lot of possibilities that open up when you start working remotely. Things like improving yourself, having better performance, but also more time, and a number of other ones. And these are just some of the few that I've already benefited from, and I'm hoping that you guys can as well. The first thing that's really important is to be able to actually start requesting remote work. And to be able to do that, you're really going to have to go up and talk with your boss or supervisor or whoever that is. You're going to have to introduce that idea that you want to work remotely. Working remotely is a thing that a lot of people and businesses never used to do, simply because they like to see you in the office. They like to be able to see what you're working on, and having that is a tangible thing that you can actually really see someone is on the job. Whereas when you're working remotely, sometimes that's not very evident. But in our career of development, where we're doing stuff like GitHub changes, and we can actually have features on a Trello board which we're signing off on, these are tangible results as well. So working remotely means that we can still provide real-world results to show we're working, whether we're in the office or we're not. So using this as a baseline, it's really easy to establish evidence to show that if you were to work remotely, you'll still be able to show that you are working. And this is the first step that you need to take. It's being able to talk to your supervisor or boss and telling them that you think you would like to try out working remotely. And it doesn't have to be for the whole week. It can be for a single day. But during that single day, you will be doing the same sort of work, just not in the office. Now, this opens up lots of possibilities. By working from home, you're essentially able to start and stop when you need to. You're able to not have to drive into the office and do all that morning routine where you might be checking emails, doing meetings, grabbing a coffee. All of this general stuff takes up a lot of time, even just getting to work and parking and heading into work. It costs money too, so you're saving a lot on just those things, and that time saving in itself is enough to already produce the results that you'll have to establish the fact that you'll be working better remotely. Working remotely has to be essentially proven. So what you do is, after you have those initial conversations with your boss to maybe request a single day or maybe 2 days to work remotely, when you start doing that work, make sure that you actually do the work. You actually go in and you start producing better results. It shouldn't be too hard, simply because you'll be saving all of that time that you would normally be using to head into the office and all of that. And you'll be working from the environment at home where you're normally already comfortable, so you should be able to jump straight into it. And by doing so and producing better results, you'll be able to prove to your supervisor or your boss that you should do more of this. You should work more remotely, because if you're producing better results, if you're more efficient, then why not do that? It's almost to the company's benefit for you to be able to work more or work more effectively in less time than you are currently at your job. Now, this opens up lots of possibilities. It means that you won't have to worry about the time you're working, and you can set your own hours. It means that some people are more productive in the mornings, whereas some people are more productive in the evenings. It gives you that possibility that if you wake up at 5 a.m., you can get started working straight away and finish halfway through the day. Or you could stay up late and work into the night while keeping the morning for yourself to do whatever you might want to do. As long as you're producing more work, or you're essentially being productive in a way that you couldn't be as much in the office, then that is evidence that you can use to establish that remote work is good. It also means that now, with that extra bit of time, if you're being more productive and efficient, it means you can start learning new technologies. It means that you can start doing maybe some courses online or some tutorials, and it's best to start doing these in the field you're in. So, for example, if you're in development and you're going to do some remote development now, if you're doing some courses as well, it means that your skill set will be improving. And this has a knock-on effect where you'll be producing higher quality work, or you're even going to be producing the work that you normally do a little bit faster, simply because you're learning these courses, these tutorials, and improving yourself. And this again has that knock-on effect that it shows that remote work is actually better for you. So the end result there is that you'll be able to manage your time a lot better. And if you keep up with this and you keep proving with evidence and results that you're doing well as remote development, you might be able to pull out the whole week to remote development. This is what I did. This is sort of the way I went about it. And what's really cool is that by doing so, I'm able to balance out my time really well. And this is the trick when you're in remote development. It's being able to balance your time, because yes, you do want to be able to provide better results. You do want to show that you are more productive remotely, but at the same time, you need to make sure that you don't overdo it. You don't want to get to the point where you don't know where the line is on whether you're working remotely or whether you're spending some time for yourself or your family. Some people who work remotely might end up losing track of time altogether and work the whole day, every day, without realizing there has to be a start and a stop. So it's important to be able to keep your balance when you're working remotely, so that you do have time for yourself, for your family, and all of that. Finally, if you've gotten to the point where you're working fully remotely, it also opens up the opportunity for you to be able to start looking at creating your own opportunities, whether that's a side gig or another startup. If you're producing the same amount of work that you normally are required to at work, and now you have more free time, you've done your courses and tutorials, this is a great time to work on a hobby or a project or a startup that you might be interested in. And this is a possibility you just might not have if you're working full-time in an office, because when you're in an office and you're working each day, you get to the office, you work, and then you get home and everything. By that time, you're usually tired. I know I am. And I don't have any more energy to essentially work on new projects or startups or anything like that. But since I started working remotely, there's a lot less energy required to produce the same results, which means that by the midday, evening, I still have lots of energy to work on my own projects, and it gives me the capability of doing things like these YouTube videos and tutorials and lots of other stuff. Anyway, these are my thoughts on working remotely. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's thinking of doing so in the development space, but let me know what your thoughts are. Have you tried working remotely? Is this something you guys think that you would enjoy? Let me know. Anyway, my name is Adrian, and I do videos around design and development, so if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.